Okay, you know how they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, let's be real. In today's modern world, who has time for 1,000 words? But research has shown that when we convey information, we can either receive it through text or receive it through images. Now, we receive information through images, we receive it 60,000 times faster. So it's kind of like, trying to race a Ferrari with a tricycle if you're not using images. Now, whether you're an author sort of creating a book or a marketer looking to catch some eyeballs, or maybe just someone that has a flair for some visuals, showcasing the perceived value of what you're offering is really important, because what that does is it's going to have them drooling metaphorically for your product or your services. And you really want to prime them so they feel so certain that they can just like shut up and take my money. And so that's really what this video is about. Now, what we're going to look at is a very quick digital art expedition around using Midjourney and then combine it with Photoshop so we can create some 3D mock-ups that look pretty impressive. Now, this same sort of thing can be done in Canva. I just find that Photoshop gives you a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more polish. So let's jump into it. Okay, so step one, we want to go to Midjourney. So I'm in Midjourney here. You can see I've been kind of playing around with this. So what I'm going to do is show you, we want to pull out a image that is going to have an aspect ratio of 9:16. This sort of portrait sort of setting. The sort of template that I like to use is this one here, and I'll actually show you how I created this. Just move that out of the way. We're going to do /imagine, and what I did was, first of all, hero image. That's kind of what I'm going for. It's something that really stands out. I just find that works pretty quickly to tell it what we're after. A woman holding up. And this is where we can use some variables. So if I go like this, I put in the curly brackets, holding up, say a vegetable, and we can try a slice of fruit. And so what this means is when we run this, it's going to apply a vegetable and then everything else. And it's also going to run a slice of fruit and then everything else. So this is a variable we get to try different variations while smiling in the style of. And this is how I came up with this name, Sadie Robertson Huff. I don't even know who she is, but I just did a search for top mother influencers. And there was some website that lists supposedly 100 of them. And so I just quickly went through and took a bit of a guess as to which names I think ChatGPT is going to know, or sorry, not ChatGPT, Midjourney is going to know. So I put in, Sadie Robertson Huff, and we'll grab, another name. Let's try. I actually know this person's name before. I've heard of them. Colleen Ballinger. I think she's Australian from memory. So we'll put her in there. I think she's a comedian. And so now we've got sort of two different people it's going to reference from, and minimalist staging. So we're just going to, want it to be fairly clean and modern. And so let's run this now. So we're going to have 4 different images are going to be created from this. And this is just one prompt. It could be any sorts of prompt that you like. And I'll show you a few other examples in a moment. So it's going to make sure, am I sure of this? Do I really want to run it? Yes, I do. And while we're waiting for that to pop up, I'll go and show you a different style of a prompt, one of my favorite styles as well. Okay, so whilst this is just working on these images, one of my other favorite styles is something like this, captivating comic book artwork style of, and then we get to insert something else, of a cute dog. We'll do a scared cat. We'll do a human brain as a character. We'll do close with curly brackets, and so it's going to run that multiple times, and we'll get some examples there. Now this one I'm doing again 9:16. Let's change that just in case we're doing something that is landscape. We'll change that back to 16:9, and we'll run that one. I'll just hit yes. So now what I've got is, you can see I've got this one here, which is based on Colleen Ballinger. I don't think that really looks exactly like her, but that's what we want. We don't want it to look exactly like her. We just made a reference. If I wanted to be more like that woman, I could drag in an image of her and do that there, but we won't need to do that. So it's now just looking at, okay, which one of these images is going to work well. And if I open up the browser, I can kind of zoom in and just get a feel for it. I don't mind this one. I like that kind of the background there, and then, which is number one. So what I think we'll do, I think we'll go with that one for now. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'll hit upscale. And down here, it's going to produce it. You can see here we've got the human brain one. Wasn't really exactly what I was after, and sometimes you just need to re-roll it a few times to get what you're after. Scared cat one, cute dog. Got some examples there. So now here I have this woman, not a bad shot. I don't think there were too many deformities in there. Usually the hands is where you'll see some weird things happening, but that looks pretty good. And what we might do is just zoom out a little bit, just to give us a bit more to play with when we put this into Photoshop to create a magazine cover or a book cover. So what I'm going for is to create a book cover for a marketing asset that we're putting together at the moment. And so we've already got the headline set up. Now, if you don't have a headline, you can always use ChatGPT to come up with something, and I'll do another video and show you how to do that. Okay, so we now have this image. It's kind of zoomed out a little bit. So we'll go for this one just because we've got all the full black in the background. So that's number 2. So we'll upscale number 2. Shouldn't take too long to upscale it. It happens pretty quickly. And then what we'll do is we'll take it into Photoshop, and we've got some templates that make this really easy. Now you could do this in Canva as well. So let's save image as... We'll just save it to hard drive there, but we'll just copy it anyway. And now what we'll do is we'll go to Photoshop. Okay, so what I've now done is opened up a template that I've been using for other projects, and we'll kind of use this. So below this video, there'll be a link that you can get access to templates like this. So this is like a 2-step process where we're going to set up the cover first, and then we're going to move that cover into a 3D mock-up template as well. So this is a very kind of masculine, bold sort of design. So let's go and use the image that we generated before from Midjourney, and we'll bring that in. I'll just kind of rescale it a little bit just to get it to look right, and just kind of bring it down a little bit more so that we can make a bit more space above her, just like that. And we'll drag this down, and we'll just drag it to there. So you can see, I mean, it's very dark, and so we just need to change the composition a little bit more. So we might just make this a little bit bigger. Something like that. There we go. And we might just move the gradient up a little bit more as well, just to try and get that out of the way. In fact, we might even just be able to remove it completely. And so what I'll do is I'll go grab the headline that we're going to use here. All right, so we'll paste in the headline here. So you can see that's too big. You can do today. So we'll leave that you can do today. And then what we will do, I like to use colors that are from the design. So we're going to change the color of this text, and let's make it this sort of green color. How's that look? A bit of lighter green. That might work. Get rid of the. I don't think we need the. 5 things you can do today. Every, don't need that. To make your home more non-toxic. So I'm just going to tighten up the template a little bit here. 5 things you can do today to make your home more non-toxic. Just move that out of the way. So what we can do, it's a little bit pixelated, the image, so I didn't capture the best version of it. All right, so I might not have grabbed the photo from the right place. So this is, I've zoomed up. We're going to go save image as, save it here. And you can see it's not as pixelated as what we were looking at in Photoshop before. So you can see it's quite pixelated there. So let's drag that in and it should be a lot better. There we go. And let's just resize it. There you can see it's much better now. Five things you can do today, and we've dropped in the wrong location there. So let's just move her down a bit more. Gonna move her to the side here. 5 things you can do today to make your home more non-toxic, and then we'll just move some of this around. So what we'll do here is we'll go and use ChatGPT and we'll come up with a better statement. So we're going to grab that here. Great, that'll do. Again, I'm not trying to overcomplicate it just yet. Immediate health benefits. So we'll just highlight that. We'll make that maybe that color there, or maybe the red. Let's find a color that is within this. And we might even remove that box. We might not really need that. Yeah, I think that can work. And then we've got a bit more space to use here. So what we'll do, I'll save that. And we'll just save it as the PSD. So that's our template that we can come back and reuse that if we want to. Actually, we'll get rid of that brush stroke there. We can, if we really want to do it, we can move the brush stroke up to somewhere where it kind of makes sense. Like we could put it under the more non-toxic, drag that out. So just kind of draw some attention to that there, like that. So we'll save that, and then I'm going to export it as a JPEG. So now exported it there. So what we're going to do is open up the 3D template now. Okay, so here's the 3D template. So it has a front and a back cover, and really quickly, I think if you just duplicate both, it's super easy. So you double click and it'll open up the, I think it's a smart symbol, smart graphic, I can't remember what it's called. Smart layer, I think it is. And so all we need to do is just now drag and drop in that JPEG into here. Make sure it's on the top layer. Get rid of these for now, get rid of that. And that looks right. And then we just hit save. And whilst you can't quite see, it's in the background there. So now we'll do the front as well. Drag it in, drop it in. Just make sure it goes to all the edges, which it does. Hit save. And so you can now see we have this book ready to go. And so now it's just about exporting it. So we'll export it. Now what you might do first of all is save that as a template. So we save as. So we now go to Photoshop template there, and then we'll export that as a PNG so we can remove all of the the background, and we can use that however we like. And now we have our 3D image of our book, all created through Midjourney, then with Photoshop. Now, similar things can be done with Canva. I just find you don't have as much creativity and a little bit limited when it comes to Canva, but maybe that's just me, and it might just be my usage of Canva. I've been using Photoshop for over a decade, so I'm a little bit more familiar with that. So any questions, reach out, let me know what you think, comment below, and thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing.